The latest stop on Championship Week Saturday is Memphis. The land of the Delta Blues is turning Cardinal red. Today, Louisville tries to keep rocking and rolling. Can Connecticut stop the show and take home the trophy in the first ever American Championship?
All great music is a blend, a mixture of roots and right now. Here in Memphis, rhythm and blues met rebellion. A boom, 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 and rock and roll was born. How, how. Hey, hey. And you can find it right here on the hardwood tonight. Two super groups with a long history of hits. The Cards have been rocking the rib.
Goodness gracious!
And Russ has been, well, ridiculous. That's a whole lot of mojo here in March. The Huskies got themselves a great front man, too.
Here's Napier. Yes!
But his backup group's been hitting the high notes all tournament long. From Memphis, Tennessee, the birthplace of rock and roll. A boom, 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 boom. Time for an encore at the American Championship. Hey, hey.
Welcome to the inaugural title game of the American Championship, presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. What a matchup. Number 5 Louisville, number 21 UConn, meeting in a conference championship for the second time in 4 years. Let's look at how they got here. On Thursday, Louisville was ridiculous. A 61-point thrashing of Rutgers. Then it was Russ-diculous. Russ Smith with 42. The Cardinals beat Houston to advance to the championship game. UConn's first margin of victory was comfortable. They blew out Memphis behind Niels Giffey. Then last night, Shabazz, Napier, and the Huskies advanced by inches as Sean Kilpatrick's layup rolled agonizingly off the rim, and UConn won by 2. Welcome to Memphis, everyone. Great to have you. I'm Dave O'Brien. My partner is Doris Burke. Andy Katz will be joining us in just a couple of moments. A championship night for us and for Louisville. Is anybody in America playing as well or better than the Louisville Cardinals? I do know this. UConn is absolutely delighted to be back in postseason play.
Well, I think playing Louisville must be a little right now like standing on a railroad track with a freight train coming at you full speed. They have not only dictated tempo, but they've determined the quality of opponents' shots. If Connecticut is going to have success, it's going to be behind their dynamic backcourt. They were drubbed last Saturday 81-48 by Louisville. Ryan Boatwright and Shabazz Napier have got to be sensational with the ball.
All right, we're ready for a championship tonight. Great to have you with us inside the FedEx Forum in Memphis. Let's go to the public address announcer right now, Jeff Mack.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the FedEx Forum for tonight's championship game in the 2014 American Championship between the number 4 seed Huskies of the University of Connecticut and the number 2 seed Cardinals of the University of Louisville. And now the starting lineups. First for the UConn Huskies. Starting at forward, a 6'10" sophomore from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 0, Philip Nolan. At forward, a 6'9" junior from Los Angeles, California, number 2, DeAndre Daniels. At forward, a 6'7" senior from Berlin, Germany, number 5, Niels Giffey. At guard, a 6' senior from Aurora, Illinois, number 11, Ryan Boatwright. And at guard, a 6'1" senior from Roxbury, Massachusetts, number 13, Shabazz Napier. The head coach for the UConn Huskies is Kevin Ollie. And now the starting lineup for the Louisville Cardinals. Forward, a 6'8" sophomore from Tarboro, North Carolina, number 24, Montrezl Harrell. forward, a 6'9" senior from Indianapolis, Indiana, number 44, Steven Van Treese. At forward, a 6'6" senior from Roanoke, Virginia, number 11, Luke Hancock. Starting at guard, a 5'10" junior from Memphis, Tennessee, number 3, Chris Jones. And a guard, a 6' senior from Brooklyn, New York, number 2, Russ Smith. The head coach of the Louisville Cardinals is Rick Pitino.
Well, Doris, we have raved about the stellar guards in this conference all season long. It's fitting that the championship features some of the best guards in the country. Here's the Mazda one-on-one.
But what a rare luxury. Senior guards, each with a national championship to his credit, each dynamic enough in personality and skill set to put a team on their back and lead it to a win. How does Shabazz Napier set up his dynamic game? Well, he begins by his ability, once he steps across half court, to get to the rim, to put pressure in the scoring area and around the rim, creative with the ball. That sets up this. He'll back you down. You've got to respect the driving ability, so create space and separation from his defender, and an easy jump shot, and yes, he can hit the 3 as well. Russ Smith, Russ-diculous, one of the most electric scorers, does an outstanding job. You string out a pick and roll, so he's patient enough to wait for the rescreen and hit the mid-range. And how about this? Just like the NBA European players who keep a defense off balance, quick shooting off the wrong foot using the right hand from the left hand. And how about this? A little spin any pool player in America would be thrilled to have.
Hey, let's toss it to our man Andy Katz right now, and Louisville coach Rick Pitino. Andy?
All right, thank you, Dave. A week ago Saturday, you win by 33, and Shabazz Napier goes 2 of 13, 1 of 10 on threes. How do you duplicate that kind of defensive performance?
Well, we tried to wear him out, but this will be a different game tonight. He's not going to play that way, and neither is Connecticut.
You have been so successful regardless of conference and a conference tournament. What has been your elixir to win these kind of tournaments?
Well, I think we pick up the pace. Sometimes people ratchet back and get a little conservative. I think we become big risk takers. We want to speed up the tempo. They're going to be more than willing to do that. They're a terrific team.
Appreciate it, Rick.
Thank you.
Well, is he ever right about that, Andy and Doris? They just come out and slam people in the initial 2 or 3 minutes and spin their heads, don't they?
22 turnovers last time these two teams squared off by UConn. UConn has got to be 12 or below in that category, Dave, in order to have a chance.
That man may have to have a big night as well. Gaffai, three-point shot, a major part of the Huskies' attack, and we're underway as Louisville wins the opening tip. Very much a pro-Louisville crowd. It's about a 5-hour drive here to Memphis for their fans. Championship night here at FedEx Forum. Great to have you along with us. Montrezl Harrell very quickly into the scoring column. He has become downright unstoppable lately.
He's become problematic for a lot of teams. He's been especially so for UConn. And you can tell the game plan already. They are not going to guard Steven Van Treese, and whoever is checking him will try to give assistance on Montrezl Harrell. Even there, it wasn't enough.
You mentioned Harrell terrorizing UConn in 2 games this season. 18 points, 13 rebounds in 1 game. 20 points, 11 rebounds in the next. They could not stop him. Up top for Shabazz Napier. Off the fake. A little bit closer with a teardrop, and he knocks it down.
How they navigate this matchup zone will be crucial. Good job by Napier to play with pace, use his dribble drive ability to get into the heart and teeth of that defense.
And Russ Smith with the ball now, coming off an absolutely spectacular game. 42 points. Trying to get started again, but misfires on the first one. It was the 3rd most points in school history. School record for a postseason game. He had 27 in the first half. His coach actually got mad at him, too, for not playing enough defense.
Classic interview with Andy Katz.
Gaffai straight on. Can't drain it. That clangs away. Loose on the deck. Van Treese comes away with it. And the Cardinals again on the attack. They have beaten Connecticut 8 of the last 9 meetings. Hancock can't hit. UConn coming in at 26-7. Louisville at 28-5.
Now, interestingly, Rick Pitino was anticipating UConn would be willing to play the tempo that Louisville wants to play. And a little strip steal by Smith.
Smith up against Boatwright on the spin move, trying to get off the pass to Harrell. Went for the dunk, couldn't get it. Daniels defended him very well.
But the fact of the matter is, UConn, and this ball's going to go back to UConn. That gets a reaction from Louisville's crowd. The reality is this: UConn, unless they get a layup in transition, Kevin Ollie actually wants to shrink this game. They have seen enough of Louisville running layup lines on their opponents.
Both head coaches have known each other for a long time. In fact, Kevin Ollie was asked after last night's game about Rick Pitino, and did he hold a grudge? Because when Pitino coached the Celtics in 1999, he cut Ollie from the team. Kevin said he and Pitino are good friends. He became a better point guard working with the Hall of Fame coach. Nothing held against him.
13 years in the NBA. It turned out okay for Kevin Ollie.
I think so. And going back to the NCAA tournament, Harrell with a baby hook for two.
Just so physically strong, athletically gifted, unbelievable touch. The kid has put the time in the gym, Dave, to take extraordinary steps as a basketball player.
Has anybody you've seen this year improved more from one year to the next?
No, and I'll tell you why. Little mid-range, yeah.
Able to get the roll.
How about the first guy in the gym within 2 days of the national championship for Louisville was Montrezl Harrell.
Smith with a floater and two. He gets into the scoring column. 6-4 Louisville. Another tie up in midcourt. A scrap for that, and it'll be UConn ball. And suffocating Cardinal defense.
UConn has simplified their offense. A little drive and pitch, and how about this? A little fake right to get Hancock moving, and nice patience and poise. And then, look, they're going to come with some assistance. Harrell is just good enough to absorb the double team, uses nice soft jump hook, get a one-on-one matchup with patience. That's beautifully done.
Napier is the conference player of the year here in the American. Coming in averaging 18 points a game. Bounce speed for Grima. Has just been tremendous blocking shots. His own hook shot will go.
He'll be crucial. Well, this guy was dynamite in their matchup with Cincinnati, and his numbers don't tell the story. He's got length and athleticism to protect the rim, and I'm not shocked he's in early.
They blocked 4 shots in a game. He probably altered another 6 or 7. There'll be a foul here against Connecticut. They're going to get assigned Chroma for the personal. That'll be his first. 4 minutes into the championship game and tied at 6. Louisville has just been blowing people out in this tournament. Got Houston in the semifinals last night, beat them by 29. Beat Rutgers, as mentioned, by 61 in the quarterfinals. Jones applies the break. The Memphis kid gets that one to fall. Nice touch.
This young man has got a lot of toughness to him, and not surprisingly, coming out of a basketball city from tough circumstances.
Yep, grew up in a very hard neighborhood here. Boatwright can't get close now to spin. Finds Napier. He's open. Off the fake. Giffey stumbles a bit, and it's going to be an offensive foul. They're going to get Niels Giffey. Ted Valentine said he committed to personal. His first.
A pretty good start for Louisville, and for Connecticut not turning the ball over. How about this guy? Just his 5th year of basketball. Another in a long line of raw big men who have arrived at UConn and improved immediately. And the local kid making good. That's a friendly role in your city. You deserve that, Chris Jones. Go to work, young man.
March 8th, UConn came into Louisville expecting a better result, but Russ Smith dished out 13 dimes. Montrezl Harrell led the way with some signature dunks and 20 points. And the Cardinals would cruise to an 81-48 blowout to close out the regular season. We take a close look at the series history, and as mentioned, it has really gone Louisville's way as much as it possibly could, winning 8 out of the last 9.
And if you're Kevin Ollie and your program, listen, Connecticut's a program with 3 national titles, and it's rare to see them get beat by that margin. But that is how well Louisville is playing at this point. A lot of emotion in Louisville that day. Obviously, senior day. We saw a Cincinnati team at home in their last game. You witnessed the game in person, and it was a similar situation for Memphis.
Well, there are a lot of seniors playing in this game. And, 10 years ago, you didn't react with that kind of shock, but you do these days. Harrell off target to the left of the iron. Real experience, particularly in the backcourt on both sides. Alley-oop batted away, stolen by Jones. Smith, a little creative with the dribble and out of play, and a foul on that one with 14:56 to go. Let's bring in Andy Katz.
Prior to tip-off, I was talking to Jim Calhoun, the Hall of Fame head coach, and Kevin Ollie's former head coach. We were talking about how Kevin Ollie coaching in this game and how important it was to the UConn fan base. He didn't have to sort of do this for credibility or any kind of verification, but the fact that they weren't in the postseason last year, that he got only a 7-month contract initially, that he took this team to the conference title game against Louisville, not some other team, it really will help, regardless of what happens tonight. Kevin Ollie, among the sort of the mainstream UConn fan base, that he certainly has arrived and is keeping the torch at a high level here, burning bright for UConn.
Well, the baseline expectation, I mean, you're talking a minimum of 20 games, deep advances into both your conference tournament and the NCAA tournament. Those are the weight of expectations under which Kevin Ollie will conduct his business, and he knows Jim Calhoun casts an immense shadow. Nice block.
Harrell with a block right in the face of Giffey. Jones back out for Hancock to launch. He can't bury it. Napier with another rebound. Such a great rebounder. His size at 6'1" to lead UConn with 6 a game. Boatwright into the corner. Jumper on the way by Chroma. No. And a foul on the play will go against Louisville, and Luke Hancock, he'll pick up his first.
Well, how about Amita Brima? 7 foot, 217 pounds. A native of Ghana. And think over UConn's history. All the raw big men who have come in and developed under the tutelage of first Jim Calhoun and now under Kevin Ollie. This is just this young man's 5th year, and you can see him growing. He has battled foul trouble all year, and that's to be expected for somebody so young to the game.
He's had a couple of standout offensive games. He had 20 coming off the bench against UCF in January. So occasionally he can help that way too, but mainly on the defensive end. Here's Boatwright's jumper. And another foul. This will go the other way. 14:09 to go in the half. Brima with number 1. So Louisville with a 3-point advantage.
Little different tempo than the Rutgers and Houston game for Louisville.
Yep. Smith over the top, and another whistle. So a flurry of fouls here in the last minute or so. That'll go against Chroma. Quickly his second. You and I have talked about this in the tournament. Chroma with number 2. Will he automatically be coming out of the game? And he will be. Although Kevin Ollie has been a little more flexible than his predecessor on that particular subject. 2 fouls, not necessarily automatic you come out.
That is correct. In fact, we saw one of those players get 3 in the first half yesterday.
Smith, no, off the back iron. Rebound comes right to Jones, but he mishandled it on the deck. And a timeout called by UConn. This will be a 30-second timeout. 13:49 to go in the half. And a 3-point lead for the Cardinals. Well, later tonight at 9 o'clock on ESPN, Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods rolls on with the Big 12 Championship game. Baylor squaring off with Iowa State from Kansas City. That one also live on Watch ESPN.
Both Coach Drew and Coach Hoiberg have both done a magnificent job navigating the inevitable bumps of a college basketball season to advance in the Big 12.
UConn with the basketball, trying to get out of the backcourt. Boatwright to Napier. One of the better backcourts in the nation for the Huskies.
So you can see DeAndre Daniels, and that's exactly where they're looking to make their impact.
Calhoun mishandled that, but he got it up there, and a nice play by Bryman to catch and get it to go.
A terrific job, outstanding job keeping his focus. But Daniels, they want him right below the nail, inside of that free throw line, and making plays from right there. They call it the 4-hole.
Long one coming for Blackshear, and he gets it. A three-pointer. He hits 40%, whether it's off the window or not. Daniels breaks the pressure. Louisville by 4. Daniels there at the foul line. He can be very explosive, but he can't travel in it as he did right there. And he turns it over.
Again, they're going through to him. The ball ends up here on the weak side of Bryma. Just does an outstanding job hanging around the rim. He's raw offensively, but he's got length and athleticism. And I'm not sure in a pickup game that account because he didn't call window.
Didn't appear to.
That's about the worst angle to shoot it off the backcourt.
Louisville leading this conference in three-pointers made per game. Blackshear is an excellent shooter. Harrell's been quieted the last few minutes. Hancock goes over the top. That pass intended for Napier, and out of play it goes.
One of the things UConn is doing right now is they're giving a cushion to both of Louisville's big men right at the elbows, which is where they set up. And it's smart because I don't think consistent jump shots from the elbow by Louisville's bigs will beat Connecticut.
Ted Valentine has just fired a bench warning at Rick Pitino. Very emphatically pointing at the Louisville bench. Rick was complaining about what he thought was an obvious foul last time on that previous possession.
Well, and he didn't like the timeout granted to UConn either on that loose ball.
No, he didn't. He thought that was quick. Shot clock down to 3. Blackshear on the spin, trying to get it up there. A wild shot, and it never got to the iron. So it's a shot clock violation. One
of the things UConn has done since they've arrived in Memphis, their defense has been pretty outstanding. We talked an awful lot in last night's game about Cincinnati's defense. UConn's has been on point.
Sandel brings it across now for the Huskies, trying to get on a run. A choppy start for both sides in this championship game. Napier beyond the 3. Trying to penetrate. Daniel gets it back. Shot clock down to 7. Napier looking to make a move. A three-pointer. Not there. Rozier very, very quick. A teardrop, one-handed no, follows his own miss, and he banks it in.
That kid has been rock solid. Flat doesn't turn the ball over when it's in his hands.
A freshman who can also shoot the three-pointer at 38%. Now Louisville trapping, tying up Salmon. And going to be a foul here, and this will go against Louisville.
I think that's tough to take, boy. That ball didn't necessarily look like it was secure in the hands of the blue jerseys. Louisville, if you turn your back as a ball handler and have your face to one sideline, you better look out. Luke Hancock puts initial pressure. They close hard and fast.
Blackshear with the foul.
Wow.
boom, boom, boom. How, 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 how. Hey, hey. Won't that walk?
That was a look at our moments we love from the American Championship, brought to you by Axe. And 2 remain, UConn and Louisville. Louisville the number 2 seed. The Huskies the number 4 seed, clashing here in Memphis. And the Cardinals with a 14-8 lead. Foul right before the break. Win against the Louisville Cardinals, and Wayne Blackshear put a lot of whistles early. Boatwright to get 5. Can't launch the 3, where he is just deadly. Nice give underneath. Great stuff there by 2 different Cardinals. Blackshear got up there. The Sioux gets credit for the block. Daniels with an airborne give here to Napier. To Daniels underneath. It comes free. Another block by Harrell, but that one's going to spin in by Brima.
Man, did they close fast and with explosive athleticism to the ball.
Smith to attack now. It would not be unusual for the pace of this game to go through the roof because of defense on both sides.
Unbelievable. And it looks like UConn's got a sure layup. Brima a little bit shaky with his initial decision, but a nice job by him to stick with it. Boy, that'll make you think twice if you're around the rim, won't it?
Harrell, by the way, already has 3 blocks. And one of those before the basket by Brima moments ago.
6'8", 235 pounds of nothing but improving basketball skill, and problematic for most people individually as a defender.
Rozier splitting 2 defenders. Lost the handle. Stolen away by Boatwright. Here's Napier. Going up against Harrell. He'll go up against anybody. The tip won't fall. Daniels underneath. 2 fakes and draws the foul.
You see what I mean about them making you think twice? A lot of pump fakes there, anticipating what's coming behind them.
Rozier with a personal.
But you know what? You play through it, Dave. Nothing wrong with pump faking it again. Connecticut is only going to run if they feel like they've got a good opportunity for a layup. 2 blue jerseys, Brima and Daniels sticking around.
So Daniels to shoot at 78-79%. Jones will return now for the Cardinals. And Rozier goes to the bench. DeAndre Daniels out of Los Angeles. Around and out. Cardinals by 4, approaching 10 minutes to go in the opening half. As you look at the shooting percentages so far, UConn has yet to hit a 3. That is not a good early trend for the Huskies, who rely on that so much. Harrell jumps in for the hook.
Just so patient. That skill set, that jump hook, his ability to finish with either hand is because he pays a price every day in the gym.
He's getting it done on both ends.
Yeah, he is, and asking coaches for individual instruction.
Get 5. Brima. They lose it. On the floor again, and another tie-up. And Louisville has the possession arrow. And timeout on the play. Louisville got it, and they get the timeout. 9:26 to go in the first half. Louisville with a 16-10 lead on UConn here in the American Championship. Hey, tomorrow on ABC, make sure you catch the NBA Sunday Showcase at 3:30. The Rockets taking on the Heat. That all starts with NBA Countdown, presented by Speed Stick Gear at 3.
Rockets look like they're putting it all together under Kevin McHale, and the Miami Heat are not exactly playing at the level you might expect in March.
Louisville with a 6-point lead on a team they drummed by 33 just a week ago, but certainly a much different tone early here in the championship game of the American. Harrell again draws the double team. He goes down, and they lost it out of play.
UConn has some speed of their own. You can see how quickly they are looking to double Montrezl Harrell. Rick Pitino yelling at Napier.
The turnovers, UConn's already turned it over 5 times. Napier trying to shred the D. Here's Boatwright. Napier wants the 3. And those are just not falling early on for the Huskies.
But that's the execution they want. They want to stay spaced to the side of the floor.
Look at Smith quickly to his left. Couple of fakes. No foul. Grima stopped him. Defy with Hancock on his hip, lays it in.
That's a tough no whistle, but Ted Valentine seemed pretty certain of his call.
Remember, Coach Pitino has already endured a bench warning. So trying to keep his composure. 8:25 to go in the half. Mathiang looking in. Smith with a leaner. Oh, Harrell's there to stuff it in.
A little frustration for Grima because nobody rotated to help him. He had gone over to try to block the shot, but to be honest with you, the post player was on the other side of that play, so there was really no one back there to give him assistance.
Nice catch by Daniels in traffic, and he lays it in.
Those are the opportunities they're willing to take. If they're point-blank range in transition or secondary break, they'll take that look. But other than that, UConn has been very patient.
Points in the paint, dead even at 10. Defy trying to handle Hancock. Chris Jones with it. He had 8 assists against Houston yesterday. His fall away is around and out. Tipped out of play by UConn.
Yeah, this is a very competitive basketball game. Unlike the last time these two teams met, that's a foul. To me, that guy should be shooting 2 free throws, but it results in this. Get by, gets out in transition. Russ Smith, so good getting to the rim. Doesn't put that one up, but Harrell there to clean it up. 4-point Louisville advantage.
I'm Reese Davis, Pac-12 championship game. UCLA and Arizona Bruins jumping to a lead. Jordan Adams missed with Tony Parker fighting inside, but Arizona's on a bit of a run now. They've cut that lead to 2. Mountain West title game, New Mexico and San Diego State. Sean Delaney working for Los Lobos. 16-13. Lobos on top of the Aztecs.
Well, this is actually one of 3 championship games where the teams played very recently, just last Saturday. UConn, Louisville, Providence and Creighton, and New Mexico and San Diego State.
Interesting. In the top 2, the 2 respective conferences that split away from one another, it was blowouts in both matchups, Dave.
Under 7.5 here in the first half. Smith right past everybody to lay it 2.
Listen, that guy's impossible to check. You know, he just reads what you're doing against any screen and roll situation, and it's dynamic enough. You go underneath, he's still fast enough to get to the rim, even though you've given him that cushion.
Much quieter first half for him than last night. Much different opponent, too. He had 27.5 last night. Spinning Boatwright wildly off the window.
Yeah, just a bad shot. That's impatience.
Harrell. Nobody wants anything to do with him, but Gaffai blocks him from behind. Terrific defensive play. And UConn comes away with a basketball. And another whistle. And that'll be a timeout.
I think Kevin Ollie forced to use one. He's a little bit frustrated with Boatwright picking up the basketball. So a couple of bad plays in a row by Boatwright, shaking his head. One thing you'd like to see that young man improve in the future is his negative body language when things don't go his way. Your teammates feel that. They pick up on it.
And we've actually seen Shabazz Napier trying to work with him on some of that. I know Kevin Ollie's done a lot of work with him on that. It's still a work in progress.
Well, Napier is a guy with experience in that category. I'm not sure there's a player in the country whose leadership qualities changed so drastically between his sophomore and junior year than Shabazz Napier.
At times they have been at odds on the floor.
No question about it. I thought Tim Welsh did an outstanding job in the Rutgers-UConn game, sort of documenting what was a difficult moment between these 2 competitive, pretty confident basketball players.
Let's go to Andy Katz.
You know, last night during the game, there was one stretch when Shabazz was out of the game, and he was instructing Ryan where to position on the court. And then when he made a big shot, Shabazz was one of the first people to jump up and congratulate him.
Here's Daniels with a 3. Around and out off the backboard. Threes aren't going down for the Huskies, at least not yet. They're 0 for 5.
It's an important aspect of their game. They have all season long been dependent on threes and transition.
In for Smith from the corner. Russ Smith, he's getting it going.
He makes a couple shots, and you're the opposing coach thinking, uh-oh, here we go.
Yes.
It's about to get rusticulous.
23-14. We in a danger zone out for the Huskies.
Well, you've got to be careful, and they've got to start making some shots.
Napier answers with a triple.
There's a guy who's made his fair share of big shots in a Connecticut uniform.
Without question, the biggest shot in the first half. All the momentum was spinning toward the Cardinals. Harrell on the high post. Smith on the cut. Flipped it up there, and he got it to go. He also thought he got fouled.
I thought he did, too. I mean, listen, in the new rules, that's a foul. It should be an N1.
And we saw one in an ACC semifinal today where on a very similar play, there was an obvious foul. Napier bumps, almost got it to go. He'll be at the line to shoot 2.
And Rick Pitino's saying exactly what I'm saying. He's screaming at the officials saying, if that's a foul, then how come my guy wasn't shooting free throws at the other end? This is the 3 he makes. And then this is the play, and he's got a case. Nice little cut off the screen from Harrell, who's the ball handler.
That has been a foul all season long.
All season long, and you can see Russ pleading his case, and Rick Pitino was hot, saying exactly what we're saying.
Actually, it's been a foul for about 100 years. 5:21 to go. Matt the Yang with a personal. And Napier knocks that down, an excellent foul shooter. 25-18. And another one coming for the American Conference Player of the Year, who had 30 against Louisville back in January. The rebounds, that's what really should jump out at anybody who has not seen Connecticut this season, because he's 6'1", He's one of the top guards in the country, but he's also one of the best rebounding guards in America.
6'1", 180 pounds with not dynamic athleticism, and he's still rebounding at the clip he's rebounding.
Ted Valentine with the stoppage in play here. And he's going to grab Boatwright for a moment. Sub was not off the court. That's what Ted Valentine was saying. Chris Jones trying to penetrate. Wants the jumper, and it rattles in. Now you know he's feeling a little extra something playing in his hometown.
He has played his entire career with a chip on his shoulder because Joe Jackson was the guy who got all the attention when he was coming up in youth basketball.
Boatwright just airmail that one. That did not touch a thing. Jones with another one. Short this time. He grabs his own miss. Finding Smith. Right past Napier and Giffey. Here's Blackshear. Around and out.
Good check out by Giffey, and they're going to say a double foul here as the arms get connected.
Yep, that was Van Treese and Giffey tangling, and they both went to the floor. That was away from the play. 4:37 left in the half. So if he fouls on both, we'll go above the rim to give you a better look.
You cannot stand as a rebounder as you see the challenge. You see Giffey goes and gets tangled, and I think it's a good call. But you like guys who pursue bodies as the ball is going up to try to check out.
So it'll be UConn ball with the fouls. Got at 6. And Giffey heading to the bench. Calhoun to get it in. Still a Calhoun in the mix for the Huskies. Foul speed, that's going to go right out of play. An errant pass there by Calhoun. He just threw it away, and they've turned it over 6 times.
And again, Kevin Ollie, every single game in 22 out of 33 games, they've only had 12 or fewer turnovers. That's the magic number. It's particularly important against a Louisville team that generates 22 points off on average.
Jones slams on the brakes up to Blackshear. And that's going to be a traveling violation. So each side with 6. 27-19 the Cardinals. Chroma on the dribble, and that's kicked away off of a Louisville foot.
Trying to do too much. If you're Chroma, there's no need. You are dribble driving into gray jerseys. Why? Just pull it out. Get your offense set.
I think generally this first half of the championship has lacked artistic merit. Stolen away by Van Treese with the quick hands. Triggering a break here, Hancock. Jones again. Misfiring. Out of play it goes. It'll stay on this end though. 3:57 remaining in the first half, and the Cardinals still leading it. 27-19 over the Huskies.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. And Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way.
Reese Davis with you. Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. The Maize and Blue now sitting on that one line, according to Joe Lunardi, after it slipped away from Ohio State in the closing seconds. Can they take care of Michigan State for a third time? And the ACC title game is set. Duke and Virginia on Sunday. We'll show you how both of them got there. Both were pushed. It's all coming up next.
Virginia had a very close win once again and gutted it out in the end against Pitt. Tremendous defensive play at the end on a block shot on a three-pointer that would have tied that game. Hancock short with that jump shot.
What a job Tony Bennett has done with that Virginia team.
ACC Coach of the Year. Napier with it up high. I think probably, for me anyway, the favorite to win National Coach of the Year.
Well, you know, we're a little biased because we saw him, nice little back door. Can he finish it?
He did.
Nice.
Brima at 7 feet.
We both watched Virginia get absolutely waxed right before the new year against Tennessee. Their season was teetering, and Tony Bennett did a magnificent job to get them back on track.
Hancock wants it in close. It won't drop, and the tip is up and in by Harrell.
Wow.
Always seems to be around that rim.
He is right at the rim.
10.6 rebounds for Montrezl Harrell, who has just beaten up UConn all season long. Napier, jump pass, jumper coming, around and out.
To me, those are the threes you've got to hit. They are now 1 for 8, and a lot of them have been uncontested threes, navigating through that underneath the nail in the free throw line area. Those are open shots that you've got to make.
Calhoun could not bury it, and they're 1 for 8 outside the three-point line. Over the top for Daniels. Boatwright glancing at his bench, and Kevin Ollie, they'll set up a play. Two and a half minutes left in the first half of this championship, and a foul here on Russ Smith.
6th team foul for Louisville, so the next foul, UConn will take some shots. Same on the other side.
Smith with his first personal. Omar Calhoun to put it in, a sophomore from Brooklyn. He started every game as a freshman, coming off the bench now. Rozier coming out. Let's go to Andy Katz.
You know, I've sat behind the Louisville bench for a couple of nights now. I can tell you more than any other night, Rick Pitino has had a quicker hook. Anytime there is a mistake, he's looking down his bench, which certainly speaks to the depth. And the player really knows it when he's walking back to the bench or after the play that he's coming right out.
Daniels with a miss. 8-point lead for the Cardinals. Yeah, we've noticed that too, Andy. Not giving them a whole lot of wiggle room. It's fascinating to us when Russ Smith at 27 at halftime and was just blowing up. His layup won't fall. The kick back out for Rozier. Gets it, a three-pointer. And even with the 27 in the first half, Coach Pitino was really unhappy with a lot of things he was doing.
Okay, I don't think Coach Pitino plays to the score. He plays to the standard that he expects from these guys.
Louisville now their biggest lead of the first half. Up by 11. Boatwright leans in for 2. 32-23.
And think about this. This is the conference title game for the 4th straight year, and 5 out of 6 for Louisville under Rick Pitino.
Smith with a 3. Well short. Very quick shot for the Cardinals. Boatwright on Smith. Poked away by Hancock. So it'll be UConn ball.
Rick Pitino values the postseason conference. He said as much to Andy. He said, well, other teams are maybe playing conservatively, worried about injuries. We're ramping up. We're building momentum.
Red hot. They won 11 of their last 12. They've been winning easily here in Memphis, winning by an average of 45 points a game. Back up top for Boatwright. Shot clock at 9. Now down to 5. Ollie screaming at him to get going. Poked away. Picked up. Boatwright has to heave it. Off the backboard. That's a shot clock violation. It did not touch the rim. Ollie very upset.
That last play to me, typifies what has made Luke Hancock in Rick Pitino's mind invaluable. That's not a guy with gifted athleticism. It certainly doesn't have the speed of Brian Boatwright. But Luke Hancock's toughness of mind to prohibit that dribble drive from a guy with a lot more speed than him shows mental toughness.
UConn's turned it over 8 times. Hancock with a jumper. Yes, a three-pointer. And boy, does that hurt the Huskies.
No question. Rick Pitino has said this team is going nowhere without Luke Hancock, and on successive possessions, he shows you why.
Hancock, the most outstanding player of the Final Four. And we had the 22 against Michigan. Has put Louisville up 35-23, and it's knocked away again. 5 seconds left in the half. Rozier attacks and lays it in. What a finish for the Cardinals to the first half, leading by 14.
They will swallow you whole if you show weakness, lose focus, present the ball in front of guys who've got unbelievably fast, strong hands, and that turns guys out in transition. And how about the focus to finish at the rim? So much momentum. Go get him, Rozier.
They ended the half on a 10-2 run. Let's go to Andy with Rick Pitino.
All right, thank you, Dave. Well, once again, 2 Saturdays in a row, you guys are defending that three-point line very efficiently. How would you describe it?
We're also doing, you're right, we're also doing a great job. Whoever that big guy's on, he doesn't defend the pick and roll well. And what he does is he goes, looks to block the shot, which frees up the easy offensive rebound. So we got to keep getting him involved in the pick and rolls. Offensively, defensively, we're doing a terrific job.
How would you define this second gear that you guys have toward the end of the halves?
Well, I think we're a pressing, trapping team, so you're always looking for your 1, 2, 3 runs per game, and we just had it at the end.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay.
Well, they have the lead, Andy, and they like the lead, don't they? We showed you that graphic. They've led for 97 out of 100 minutes in this conference tournament. Pretty remarkable. Up here at 37-23 as we go to Reese Davis, Seth Greenberg, and Jay Williams back in the studio for the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Gentlemen.
Dave, impressive first half again for Louisville. Pac-12 championship game going on right now. UCLA and Arizona, Aaron Gordon and the Wildcats trying to win the tournament for the first time since '02. How about slow-mo coming up with a 3, Kyle Anderson?
Little reverse pivot, hand down, he has a jumper to shoot over the top. And he does it patiently, takes his time.
Bruins up by 11 early, but Aaron Gordon can fly, and so can Nick Johnson. And this time Gordon was on the passing end. Johnson finished it 43-40. UCLA has the lead. Mountain West championship game. A couple of teams are going to have to be dealt with in the upcoming NCAA tournament. Xavier Thames.
Xavier Thames is one of the best guards in the country. He's a fifth-year senior, big, physical, tough, and can get in the lane.
Not only Xavier Thames for the Aztecs, but Winston Shepard. Oh, step back on me. 27-22. New Mexico has the lead at the half. So you look at our first half here, and when these two teams last played, Louisville beat UConn 81-48. Last few minutes of the first half looked as if we were headed in that direction again.
It was deja vu, and Rick said it exactly the right way. When you're a pressing team, eventually you want to get 1 or 2 runs. But to me, it's in the half court where they are so hard to score against. I say that matchup zone is more difficult to solve than a Rubik's Cube. They do a great job of handing people over. Right here, you see great pressure on the basketball. But watch the communication here. Watch post the sides. Look, great job right there by Chris Jones finding the shooter. I call that fanning and finding on the kick out, contesting the shot. Great communication, help on the ball screen. 2 players close out, hands above the ball. You're forcing Connecticut to become a jump shooting team, and then you can get out and transition. The ability to communicate in that matchup zone is key. They do a great job of contesting shots.
Russ Smith, Terry Rozier, they're having a field day. And this is the one thing I know as a guard. If I'm involving my big in a screen, and I know the big guarding the big setting the screen for me is going to be late to get out there, that means I can turn the corner every single time. And when guys go for blocks, that's exactly what Louisville is waiting for. They have 8 offensive rebounds. You can't block everything. Just stay home on your man and try to box out.
That was the key to playing Duke when we played Duke. They showed so hard in those screens. I told our guys, get it on the glass. And Coleman Collins, get to the offensive glass.
That's exactly what Pitino said worked well for Louisville in the first half, and the Cardinals in control at the break, trying to win their first and last American Athletic Conference tournament. Still to come, we'll look at the ACC. Top 2 seeds are set. They've made it through. We'll show you how it all unfolded. That's coming up in just a bit.
Wild Wings halftime report.
ACC semifinal, Duke number 7 in the country. Mike Krzyzewski's team seeded 3rd in the ACC. North Carolina State was a 7th seed.
I mean, look at those 3 white jerseys all around T.J. Warren. But Roscoe Turner able to knock down one of the few jump shots he had in rhythm.
And with room. Duke up 47-45. Emil Jefferson breaks up the lob. Going the other way, watch what happens with Jabari Parker, Seth.
Usually a high percentage shot. That was a potential poster.
How come Cat Barber didn't take a charge?
Would have good?
Nope.
Taking a charge?
Faded out of the screen.
Freshman, he'll learn to continue to stay out of the way, but just make it look better so you don't catch him.
Was it exit stage right?
75-67. Hey, man, he's got to know his limitations. The other ACC semifinal, Virginia and Pittsburgh. Virginia, the regular season champion. Cavs trying to get to the tournament championship, first time since '94. James Robinson had a big game. How about cutting back door Lamar Patterson? Patterson kept it a tight game, low-scoring game. This thing was 48-45. Robinson had a big game against North Carolina, got the steal. Should have gotten the and one, an opportunity to tie with 10 seconds to go, but no foul was called. 51-48. Now the chance to tie it up with a 3 and a terrific defensive play by Justin Anderson.
Everybody talks about K.J. McDaniels. Well, Justin Anderson's just as good as a defender.
Ohio State and Michigan. Duke, Virginia will play for the ACC title. Ohio State trying to keep Michigan, the regular season champion, out of the Big Ten championship game. Buckeyes got down big, but found some offense to come back.
Buckeyes are almost always best when they're down 16, but towards the end of that game, Sam Thompson, Aaron Craft, and Scott all got involved.
Stauskas not just a spot-up jump shooter anymore, huh? Missed there. Huge offensive rebound by Karis LeVert. Spike Albrecht ended up getting fouled, made 1 out of 2. So Kraft has a chance to tie it. You know how clutch he is. And it just somehow squirted off his fingertips, and Michigan goes to the Big Ten championship game 72-69. Wisconsin and Michigan State in the other semifinal, and the Spartans seem to be hitting their stride. Denzel Valentine down, said, hey! Right between the legs to Brandon Dawson.
This is a Spartan team that is healthy, they are hungry, and they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. They proved it today.
Dawson back in the lineup and helping. How about Gary Harris?
Gary Harris, he is their go-to player down the stretch, but a healthy Brandon Dawson and Keith Appling, this team is going to make a deep run, not in the Big Ten tournament, but in the NCAA tournament.
3rd time, Michigan State and Michigan on Sunday for the Big Ten championship, 83-75, the final there. Michigan has won the 2 regular season meetings. VCU and St. Joseph's will play for the A-10 title on Sunday. This is significant to all of those teams sitting on the bubble because St. Bonaventure was one of the 3 bid stealers alive on Saturday. St. Bonaventure, NC State, 2 of them, both of those 2 teams lost, keeping bubble hopes alive everywhere.
This halftime report is presented by Buffalo Wild Wings, the official hangout for NCAA March Madness. This halftime report is presented by Buffalo Wild Wings, the official hangout for NCAA March Madness.
SEC semifinals, Tennessee and #1 Florida. Second half, Gators were down 10 in the first half, down 5. Patrick Young doing work. 3-point game. Freshman guard Casey Hill giving Florida the lead. This might be my favorite play of the day, Seth.
Great job of Casey Prater chasing behind the ball, not the man. Then Dorian Finney-Smith pushing it. Michael Frazier, room and rhythm. It's always good to shoot room and rhythm shots. You understand that, Liz?
I understand. Gators by 2. Tennessee didn't have much room, didn't have any rhythm at all until Jordan McRae hit that shot. They'd gone 9.5 minutes without a field goal, but you see the Gators had gone 6 minutes without one. Florida outlast Tennessee 56-49. Gators going to the SEC Tournament Championship game, and there they will take on Julius Randle and Kentucky. Wildcats got a fight from Georgia, who had a great conference season, not so much in the non-conference. Randle going through the Dogs and flushing it.
These cats can't hold me back. These cats can't hold me back.
Uh-oh. We're really in trouble.
Kentucky playing like a different team right now. Harrison Twain stepped up, had a big-time performance.
Tweak their practice schedule.
Tweak. I got a little tweak right there. Get it to Aaron Harrison. He had 22 points. His brother found him. Andrew had 9 assists. Go ahead and say it again, Jay Will. You dropped the 2 words national championship last night.
Hey, well, the way they've been playing, they're on that kind of road, my friend.
Let's see if they can take care of the Gators on Sunday.
We'll see.
70-58. They have won the SEC tournament 5 times in Atlanta, and that's where they're played. Some other games, Western Michigan and Toledo in the Mid-American Conference. Texas Southern wins the SWAC. Mike Davis taking his 3rd team to the NCAA tournament. He's the Texas Southern coach now, previously at Indiana and UAB. Russ Smith trying to give Louisville an American championship to go to the Big East championship that they had last year, and the ACC one they'll pursue next year.
Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah, man. They ain't never gonna be a first time again. A boom, 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 boom. Hey, hey. From Memphis, Tennessee, the birthplace of rock and roll, the American Championship.
Back in Memphis, we're getting ready for the second half. The very first championship in the history, the young history of the American Conference. And it's Louisville with a 37-23 lead. Dave O'Brien, Doris Burke with you. And UConn got a taste of what every team fears when they take on Louisville, that extra gear they seem to have.
There's a cumulative toll that their pressure applies. Through the first 7 UConn turnovers, only 1 point off their last 5. They're going to get you eventually.
Well, Rick Pitino, joined by Andy Katz right before the half, talked about an area they really wanted to exploit in that opening 20 minutes.
Whoever that big guy's on, he doesn't defend the pick and roll well. And what he does is he goes looks to block the shot, which frees up the easy offensive rebound. So we got to keep getting him involved in the pick and rolls. Offensively, defensively, we're doing a terrific job.
This was the play we touched on where Breimer was frustrated that he didn't get any backside help. He goes over to offer assistance. There's nobody home, and that allows the 6'8" dynamic athlete of Montrezl Harrell to go and get an easy opportunity.
Harrell once again, he's had this history against UConn, coming up with a big first half. And Louisville used that to their advantage, ready for the second 20 minutes. Harrell with 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Rozier, Smith, Hancock, Harrell, and Van Treese on the floor for Louisville to begin the second half, and they have the ball. And immediately knocked out a play, and he actually lost it off of UConn. Let's go to Andy.
Well, I just talked to Kevin Ollie before the second half. He says, look, we've got to share the basketball. He mentioned the 9 turnovers, only the 4 assists. He says we've got to move it around. We're settling too much for one-on-one. And he did mention those offensive rebounds that they're not getting, and certainly those weak side rebounds that they aren't receiving either.
Smith, his teardrop no. Van Treese collects it. Hancock with a 3. Off target there. Another one batted out to Hancock, and a foul against the Huskies.
That gets a quick sub off the bench for Kevin Ollie. He's going to stick Phil Nolan back in the ball game. We thought Jim Calhoun had a quick hook. 27 seconds in, 3rd foul, out you go. And we've seen him play a guy in the first half with 3 fouls. So I think this is as much about not getting on the backboards as it is the 3rd foul.
Jim has been here throughout the tournament. Harrell to Smith. Smith had that brilliant game last night. 42 points, which is the most points ever scored by a Louisville Cardinal in a tournament game, be it a conference tournament game or any tournament. Harrell moving away from Nolan. Shot clock down to 13. Underneath that, a foul. Van Treese will go to the line. He's coming up 10 rebounds last night.
This young man has just come so far as a basketball player. When Rick Pitino went to watch him in high school, he said, it's a player who I've recruited who probably looked to score the least.
Nolan picked up the foul. Well, the other thing that Van Treese did well last night, at least the one time he attempted 2 of them, was hit 3-pointers. This is a career first for Stephen Van Treese last night.
Well, why not get in on the action? Rick Pitino has always embraced the 3-point shot. Tonight he's got 3 assists, and his career high is 4. He plays so hard, and there's all of the little things that you need. And on a team with plenty of scorers with Russ and Hancock, who can shoot it, Chris Jones, who's an opportunistic scorer, you need those guys.
Napier trying to get the Huskies started. Rebound batted around, and it comes free to Jones.
Now that's what Andy Katz was talking about. Kevin Ollie, that's a one-on-one individual play by Napier.
Tipped out a play by Giffey with 18:50 to go. And UConn in trouble. They were at the end of the first half, and now down 39-23. In the American Championship, Luke Hancock to get it in right in front of his own bench. The Cardinals have absolutely punished their previous 2 opponents in this tournament. Hancock leaning in, heavy traffic. Van Treese yanked down the rebound. Despite all that congestion, that won't go from Smith.
He's certainly letting them play.
Napier off the fake. Can't drill it. Been a tough night shooting the 3 for the Huskies. Napier knocks that one away from Harrell. UConn has only made one three-pointer all night. Nolan will step out.
And just like Coach Calhoun, the quick hook for Daniels, the quick put back into the ball game. You can see how heavily UConn relies on the three, not only in this tournament, but all season. And it's been a struggle from there tonight.
Jones with a jumper that clangs away. Louisville doing their best to try and bury the UConn Huskies, but they're missing some shots. Napier right there to Daniels. Boatwright takes it to the lane. Napier got it. Three-pointer on target.
Those are the shots you've got to make. They had a couple of those uncontested looks in the first half. Didn't make them.
39-26. Shabazz with 10.
Well, in desperate need of some shot makers at this point. A little bit of momentum would help. Frustration on all the faces of the Connecticut Huskies. Going to have to show some toughness. Boatwright can get into the paint. A paint touch leads to an open three. Shabazz, Napier. All of the three-point shooters need to be heard from. Connecticut trying to bounce back.
Memphis, Louisville with the 39-26 lead over UConn, and the Cardinals have the basketball here with 17:40 to go in the American Championship contest. Pantry setting the screen for Jones. He'll fire it up and hit.
That's a play that UConn worked on. That's a down screen and a ball screen by the big guy, and still not handled.
And a lead up to 15. Huskies looking for a hot hand. Underneath, Goodbye lays in two.
Nice job by Brima. He's not a bad passer. You can tell Brima has got a future. In fact, Dave Odom, who's on the radio broadcast, said he's the best prospect in the post he has seen in years. In fact, likened him, Brima, to Patrick Ewing in terms of his shot blocking ability. How about that?
A very serious compliment from a very serious coach in his day. Smith's pass batted up by Napier. And now knocked out of play. They'll keep it. Louisville will have it with 6:35 to go.
That's Dave Odom, former head coach at a couple of different universities. There's the screen by Van Treese, and he had come after setting a down screen to set the ball screen, a play Louisville runs quite often.
Shot clock is at 4. Hancock trying to get by Brima, lays it up, and a foul on the play that almost went with 1 on the shot clock. So he will be going to the line to shoot 2. We go above the rim. Brima with a foul.
This is one tough cookie. You can see he gets the angle on Brima. This is what Rick Pitino was talking about. There's a story in the Courier-Journal in about February, mid-February, talking about how good Luke Hancock was. He said he's deceptively quick, uses change of pace, understands how to get a shoulder by a defender.
Hancock second, misfiring there. Good foul shooter typically at 82%. UConn, it would appear, really needs Shabazz Napier desperately now for a hot hand from Giffey. With 24 the other night in the quarterfinals here. Boatwright wants the 3. Around and out. Tossed ahead for Harrell, and a foul on the play. They're going to count the basket. It's going to be goaltending as well.
He should have just left it alone, Brima. They are like a freight train coming at you. How about Harrell? First up the floor, takes the initial contact. He's just got such strength and athleticism to adjust. Even in the face of contact, he's still able to turn his body.
Going to be number 4 on Giffey. So he's in deep trouble with 16 minutes to go. This will be for a 3-point play. Montrezl Harrell, sophomore out of North Carolina. In the 5 games before this tournament started, went on for 21, 21, 25, 19, and 20.
It's one heck of a run.
And Giffey running to the bench. 45-28. Calhoun to attack, traveling though. He gives it away. He can't believe the call. But
neither can Kevin Ollie. Looked like the defender had gotten that ball loose. He simply cannot believe the call. We get the benefit of the second look. He's got the transition opportunity. But he's absolutely right. The official is all over that. That's a mishandle by Connecticut.
And that was Steve Olson making the call. But the Cardinals back with it. They're holding a hammer. Here's Jones. He scraps for the rebound. Montrezl going after it in the corner. They'll keep it on this end. Off of UConn, and everything breaking the Cardinals' way right now, a commanding 45-28 lead in the championship. Welcome back to Memphis in the American Conference on ESPN, and that is the championship trophy just outside the FedEx Forum. To be awarded here in about another 16 minutes or so. Louisville on the way to it with a 45-28 lead over UConn. Doris Burke, Dave O'Brien, Andy Katz with you here from the Forum.
And some young fans enjoying a little bit of TV time right there.
Just a bit. Got a lot more Cardinal fans here over the last 48 hours than anybody else, that's for sure. Smith with a kick out. Jones a three. Yes. And out is Flat getting away. A 20-point lead for the Cardinals. Their biggest of the night.
He's been terrific, Chris Jones. And this is where I like him, especially as a ball-hawking defensive guard. He can be incredibly disruptive.
Well, a young man from Memphis getting a chance to step on this floor and perform this well. That's been a great throw for him. Napier over the top and slammed by Brima. Brima with 10. Harrell with a spin. It travels. He turns it over with 14:51 left. Back to the Jones three.
Yeah, just 5'10", 175 pounds of nothing but toughness. Gets by, delivers the ball to Chris Jones, and boom. I'm not sure that you can ask much more of Russ Smith. Right? I mean, they list him 6 foot. You think he's legit? Probably, I guess, but so lean, but tough-minded. Improves his assist numbers, improves his assist to turnover ratio, improves as a shooter. And Russ Smith has done everything the NBA has asked for.
Rebound taken away by Louisville. Smith with 10 points, 3 assists, 2 steals in this one. Got that one into the corner for Jones. Wants to get after it again, draws the foul. Boatwright came over to defend.
Here is how Russ Smith has improved over the course of his 4 years in a Louisville uniform. And it's been quite a journey. Think about all of this team. Some undersold guys. Luke Hancock starts his career at George Mason. Russ Smith was unheralded out of high school. Harrell has made drastic improvements over the course of his career.
Jones at the line, makes the first. Let's go to Andy.
2 nights ago, I talked to Russ Smith about what he learned about being a senior that he maybe didn't know as a freshman, and he really got into details about learning the nuances of the game, both offensively and defensively, how much more of a smarter player he is, more mature player, and really appreciated the basketball experience of the last 4 years and how much more it will better prepare him for the NBA.
Went into the gym over the summer with his father and just worked on all of the aspects of his game that had been picked apart for so long.
Well, now Louisville looking for the absolute knockout as they continue to pressure in the backcourt at 15-30. And the Huskies have been down this road very recently against Louisville, where they lost by 33 at Louisville last week. A bump by Blackshear, no basket by Napier, but he'll be at the line. Blackshear's second foul.
A little frustration for Coach Pitino getting into Wayne Blackshear for standing up defensively.
He has not been frustrated very often in conference tournaments, has he?
No, but he never stops coaching.
He was coaching like this when he had a 61-point lead against Rutgers.
And he's why was Shabazz Napier in his upward motion? I thought that foul came well before.
It's the first. We'll take another look at it.
Well, he slapped the table in absolute frustration. There's the foul. He's not in his upward. That's why he's angry, and that's a right to be.
Number 2 for Napier. It's 86%. And he rolls that in.
He can't believe it. He slapped the table in frustration.
Rick Pitino approaching 700 career wins. Looking to go to a 3rd consecutive Final Four. And all of a sudden, a lot of folks are believing that that could very well happen. Harrell knocks in 2.
Well, their seeding is not going to change. In fact, yesterday Lenardi had them as a 3 seed. Today is a 4 seed. Remember, their opponent in the semifinal had a very bad RPI.
Boatwright with a kick out. Daniels there. Yes, a 3. That's been a rarity today for the Huskies. They've not been able to hit them at the rate that they would expect in a game like this, or hope in a game like this. A 3 out of 12.
Just their third make from deep.
Harrell again. Buries another one.
They have played him with a cushion at that elbow all day, and he didn't take any of those elbow jumpers in the first half. You're going to have to change your thinking now.
This is their third crack at him, and have not been able to solve him. On the UConn side, that one taken away. Calhoun lost it. Jumper coming, and that won't drop out of the corner by Rozier. Loose on the deck. And it's going to be a Louisville timeout with 12:46 remaining. 54-35. Montrezl Harrell catching fire. Frankly, doing what he's done against UConn all season long as we bring in Andy.
Yeah, I've been communicating during the day with Mick Cronin, the Cincinnati head coach, and Josh Pastner of Memphis, and asking them their impressions of Harrell. And they both said that he's obviously been playing awesome throughout the course of the season, but he is the difference on this team. As Mick told me, he says he gives them inside scoring, rebound, and defense. He does it all for them. And, you know, I think sometimes people forget that Shane Bohannon was on this team for the first couple games of the season, was dismissed, ended up transferring to Colorado State. And the reason losing a rotation player like that won a national championship last year is not as much of a factor is because of Harrell. That's what the staff told me. It's Harrell has taken his game to such another level that they don't miss Bohannon right now at all.
He's got Louisville fans saying, Shane who?
Yeah, Kevin Ware, of course. Well, I mean, you're losing guys you were going to count on, and they have not missed a beat.
Yeah, listen, this guy's the best pro prospect on the floor, and it's not close because he is scratching the surface of his potential.
Again, only a sophomore. 17.6 rebounds, 3 blocks.
I think his draft position is going to be so good that he's going to have to go.
Interesting to me, though, that Louisville's seeding position, according to Joe Lenardi, dropped. And they won yesterday's game by almost 30 points. I know it was against Houston, and that doesn't help them to win a game like that, actually.
They're on the 4 seed line, and listen, you know, you cannot dismiss the non-conference schedule. Their best win at this point, I guess, would be Southern Miss.
Blackshear ripped away the rebound. Smith feeding in the corner. Here's Rozier. Knocked away from him. They'll keep it on this end. Now here's a look at our All-State Tournament Challenge resume. And on the Cardinal side, 4 in the BPI. Strength of schedule does not do them favors.
Well, 96. It was 96 before the Houston game, and even though you win, your strength of schedule dips.
Rozier with a bump, and that's an offensive foul. So 12-10 remaining, 54-35 Louisville.
We talked to Rick Pitino yesterday about the non-conference schedule. They've played in the Hall of Fame Classic. Thought perhaps the field might be stronger there. And felt like the margin against Southern Miss was due to their, you know, we've seen it here against good teams. You know, Houston's a team that has some offensive capability, as is UConn. And look at, they are destroying people right now. They're playing so well.
Blackshear reaches in and fouls Napier, stopping the clock at 12:03 remaining. Blackshear's third. Hancock to check back in. And it's all systems go for the Cardinals. Rick Pitino has been going to the bench frequently. And it seems like in these last 5 or 6 minutes, it's really worn down the Huskies.
I think they do that to a lot of people. There's a physical price to be paid against Louisville. There's also a mental price to be paid.
Daniels, shot clock down to 17. Shabazz Napier, not there for him. This is probably going to have to be one of those nights where the Huskies shot the ball exceptionally well beyond the three-point line. Instead of poorly as they have in this one. Hancock with a miss. Rebound tipped and controlled by Daniels. 11:20 left. Daniels gets inside for 2. He has 7. And probably another one of the Huskies who needed to have an exceptional game. And a timeout, Rick Pitino. He'll take the break here.
You know, Montrezl Harrell is a guy who had star potential. Now he's become a shooting star.
54-37. Timeout will stay right here with 11:04 on the clock.
He is a factor on both ends of the floor, able to close quickly on a jump shooter, able to meet you at the rim with great strength, able to go to the offensive glass. This has been added, the mid-range jumper. You pay a price in the gym and your skill set will develop.
Well, another big night for him, but nothing new when he faces the UConn Huskies. His first 2 games this season against them, he had gone off for 18 points, 13 rebounds, and 20 points and 11 rebounds. And both of those Louisville wins.
He's just got a special level of athleticism. His wingspan is extraordinary. His foot speed is there. His frame, look at him. He looks like a pro body right now.
Harrell this season with 90 dunks. That is a Louisville record. That's a school record. And they have had a few who could throw it down. Smith airborne. Very high, too high over the top of the backboard. And we'll take another timeout. 10:57 remaining here in Memphis. And Louisville very much in command over UConn.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's.
The ACC tournament in Greensboro, the semifinals played today, championship tomorrow. That'll be Virginia and Duke. And the SEC all set. Florida, #1 team in the country, to take on Kentucky Sunday at 3:15 on ESPN. Now, of course, we were just debating Louisville and where their seeding may wind up. Andy, any new information on the Cardinals?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. In fact, tomorrow night during our selection special on ESPN, I will be with NCAA Tournament Selection Committee Chair Ron Wellman in Indianapolis. And one of the first questions I'm going to ask him is, what did he do with Louisville, depending upon where they're seated? Because here's the problem for the committee, according to multiple sources, okay? The issue is, do you judge them on the eye test, because they're one of the best teams in the country right now, or the numbers? Because right now, if they win this game, they'll be at 500 against the top 50. But their overall strength of schedule is low due to 12 conference games versus teams below 140, 7 non-conference games against teams below 200. So you're going to have to balance that against the eye test. And also, as you guys have mentioned, and we've seen it here, they had to play Rutgers and Houston to get to the final, not SMU. So a weaker road to the final hurts their overall strength of schedule. Eye test versus numbers. What does the committee do?
Well, the eye test, if you're a basketball person, says Louisville might be playing the best basketball of any team in the country. And I'll say this to you. Whatever bracket they're in, I want no part of it if I'm a higher seed.
Yeah, if you're number 1 seed.
No, I want no part of that.
And Louisville's coming. I mean, you have to be a bit terrified.
You've got the defending national champion who returns the most outstanding player, Luke Hancock, from the Final Four. Russ Dickulus, who could go off for 40 on any given night. Montrezl Harrell is the best pro prospect. I want nothing to do with Louisville.
9:21 remaining. The baby hook won't fall for Harrell, but he's hit a lot of them today. And he's been the main engine piece as Louisville has driven again. I think that's the other thing about the Cardinals, as Daniels knocks down the jump shot. They don't have to rely just on Russ Smith. There are a number of guys on this team offensively who can hurt you.
Yeah. Rozier has been steady with the basketball. You've got he and Chris Jones.
Hancock averages 12 a game. Harrell averages 14. Jones is a double-figure guy. Whistle here and a foul. This will go against Louisville. Now, Joey Brackets for the American Conference. This is what he projects at the moment. Louisville a 4, Cincinnati a 4, Connecticut a 5, Memphis an 8, and SMU has trickled all the way down to an 11.
Wow.
Are they barely hanging on right now?
No. It's, you've certainly given yourself a moment's pause and a little anxiety until tomorrow night.
Smith with a theft and a bucket.
That's crucial because they had closed the gap a bit. If they had hit a 3, it would have been a 12-point game. Another turnover, another steal, and boom, just like that, it's 17.
Russ Smith with 14. Last night, when he scored 42, he went 3 spots higher on the all-time Louisville scoring list. Pretty amazing. Another bucket here. He tied the school record for steals on that last one.
He reminds me of a defensive back you want no part of, because he just reads. If his teammates are up in a trap, Russ has got speed to cover a ton of ground. He's got exceptional hands, great anticipation.
Jones with it. Shot clock down to 11. Can't find a way in. Now down to 7. And tied up a foul by Napier. Napier's upset. I wonder if his argument is he got popped.
He slapped Jones's hand away because he got popped in the mouth. Now, are they going to just tee Shabazz Napier here? Because he's the one who reacted.
7:48 to go. And that right hand, he did. And then Napier with a little shove on Jones. They are going to take a look. The officials will go to the monitor here. Under 8 minutes left in this American Championship. Louisville up 58-43 over UConn. It's the American Conference on ESPN, and from Memphis, Tennessee, where Doris Burke has been holed up for about the last 6 weeks. It's Louisville on top 58-43. Back to the play right before the timeout, and the officials are now going to explain their thoughts to both head coaches. But take a look. There was a foul called on Shabazz Napier. Reaching in there, fouling Chris Jones, and then Jones on the follow through, which to us looked like a basketball play. Unfortunate, but a basketball play. But then Napier with a little something extra at the end because he got hit in the mouth, and he was upset about that. So the question is there flagrant one anywhere here? We have not been advised that there is. But Rick Pitino's getting hot about something.
It's taken an awful long time.
He is upset.
And Russ tries to calm him down. I think he's yelling at Chris Jones. He obviously has not seen the replay.
The flagrant one is a foul deemed excessive in nature.
Elbow above the opponent's shoulder. Is the illegal contact? Could that be what's called on Chris Jones? Wow, double contact technical foul.
First the foul, of course, and then after that the double contact technical. Took a long time to figure out. Harrell turning to the basket, made it, and to the line. He's had a tremendous championship game.
How good is that? You will pay a price if you take him on physically. He's going to come right through your chest, and there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do about it.
Daniels with the foul.
The rotation by Daniels not strong enough to prevent the adjustment, and an N1 opportunity for Harrell.
Looking for a 20-point game. Already has 8 rebounds and 3 block shots too. Well, he was probably the greatest fear of the UConn Huskies. More so even than the outstanding All-American Russ Smith.
And just as an aside, I love the use of the monitor, but just like in the NBA, you'd like those officials to make their call and then let's get play started again.
I'm with you. Defy with a hard drive to his right, won't drop. Another rebound for Harrell. On his way to a double-double. Smith with a quick step, lost the handle on it. A foul in that lane with 7:20 remaining. Louisville just humiliated Rutgers Thursday in the quarterfinals, 92-31. Then beat Houston by 29. And now big lead against UConn. Foul will go against Shabazz Napier.
Could you imagine if Louisville stays a 4 seed? I've got to believe they go up at least 1 seed line, if not 2.
I'm amazed that Joey Brackett's had him going down a notch after yesterday, but I think Andy pointed out the situation with Houston. And that's an opponent that, given their BPI and how they've lost by big margins at times, and kind of a win doesn't do much for the Cardinals.
We're 7 minutes and 20 seconds from what would be Rick Pitino's 12th conference title.
Shabazz with 12 points, but also 3 fouls now, playing with those. As we approach 7 minutes to go, they're going to get Smith for a foul. He was bidding for the steal. Picks up his second personal. UConn was banned from postseason play last year due to academic progress rate. But they'll be going to the NCAA tournament this season. Boatwright burying that one. Still hoping they have time to have a better showing in the championship of the American Conference. Of course, Louisville will be leaving for the ACC next year. Smith trying to bounce pass there. Heavy traffic to Harrell. Somehow he got a hand on it and kicked out of play. 14 seconds on the shot clock here for the Cardinals. .6:35 to go. Blackshear trying to get it in. Bounce for Smith to the left hand. It won't fall. Blackshear comes away. Shot clock down to 8. Now 5. Crowd is helping. Certainly a pro Louisville crowd here. A little short by Jones.
You can make a 3 here. Get at least within striking distance. Maybe come with some pressure. If you can get a score, that's not going to help.
Smith went down. Didn't come away with it though. Here's goodbye. And a blocking foul on Van Treese. 6:08 to go. Now here's the current conference in the American year 1. About to add East Carolina, Tulane, Tulsa, while losing both Louisville and Rutgers. Let's go to Andy Katz.
Well, I was talking to Commissioner Mike Oresco earlier today, and he was thrilled that Tulsa won Conference USA. Obviously, that's going to be one of the brand names that they're bringing in next season. They've got great history in the Elite 8 under Bill Self, great coaching legacies that have coached there. And also, you got Danny Manning, who'll be coaching Tulsa, who played for Larry Brown at SMU, and they obviously played for him at Kansas when they won the national championship in 1988. In fact, Tom Ojackson from the Americans saying more than likely you're going to see a Tulsa SMU sort of high-profile matchup earlier in the season. So these are the kind of things that they're looking for in terms of building up the brand of this conference, but they still have to decide where they're going to sort of anchor it next season. This was a one-year deal to put the tournament here at the FedEx Forum. Obviously, it was conducive to being close to Louisville fans. A lot of Louisville fans here, 6 hours away from Louisville. But next season, it's Memphis, Orlando, Hartford, and Atlantic City all bidding for the rights to host the tournament next season. So they have to find a home, at least for next season, maybe the year after, to decide where they're going to host this tournament.
You also have to hope long-term that Cincinnati and UConn stick with your conference. Obviously, the administration from Cincinnati raised some eyebrows and drew a conversation from Mike Oresco after the conversation that they were looking to move on to another conference. That doesn't help any of your membership, certainly.
62-47 the Cardinals. 5.5 remaining. UConn still not showing an ability to make a run here. Napier jumps into the paint. Get by with it. Shot clock down to 11. They need a couple threes, but Daniels will go for the stuff instead.
That's a momentum type play, but you've got to start making some stops and scores in a hurry.
That's a 6-0 run. Little bit of a pulse here for the Huskies.
Human nature, right? To just take a quick sigh. If you're Louisville, take the foot off the pedal just a little bit. Give him the ball.
10 to shoot. Harrell again. Up against Brima. Well defended. Knocked out a play by UConn with 6 on the clock. Time everybody stayed home. Harrell's had a big game with 20 points, 9 rebounds.
I think he's looking for a little help from his coach, thinking that perhaps he should give the official a little talking to.
Inbound for Harrell and draws the ball. He went down very hard on his side. He's up very quickly, and it's a great sight for Cardinal fans.
He looks like he's indestructible the way he's built. Well, go make your own luck if you're Harrell. Just bully Brima at the rim.
Brima with his 3rd personal. He may be indestructible. Playing that way.
Let's put an Iron Man suit on this guy. That's how he's built.
Shooting 2. Tomorrow, we invite you to tune in to ESPN at 9 for a special 30 for 30. Requiem for the Big East, exploring the meteoric rise of the Big East Conference, becoming one of the most successful college sports leagues ever, then eventually fighting for survival in a new era.
Big East Tournament, the greatest show on Broadway in early March. No question about it, for years and years.
Harrell with number 2. Made it 1. Tipped up, and that won't drop. 63-49. If the Huskies have any magic, they better start showing it now. Here's Daniels. And a foul with 4:26 to go against the Huskies.
And Stephen Van Treese just imposing his will, moving his body and his feet and that frame and those shoulders.
4 on Brima. Again, some of those Louisville fans who made that bending way their living, 5 or 6 hour drive. Coming here to Memphis.
Do you agree with Rick Pitino's sentiment that should they be able to advance to another Final Four, this would become like a mini dynasty run for the program?
Hard to argue with that, I think. That would be 3 consecutive Final Fours. And possibly back-to-back national championships. You know, a few weeks ago, I don't think people were talking about Louisville that way, but then you remember who their head coach is.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, they tend to be peaking right about now, don't they? Boatwright breaks the pressure and will lay it up, but it won't drop. And up and in by Daniels.
Well, Daniels is almost single-handedly trying to get him back in it.
But quickly on the other end, they allow Smith to strike. Back up to 16. Russ Smith with 17 after a slow start. Giffey off the fake for a 2-point shot. He follows his miss. They let him through. The dipsy-do is good.
A little less attention to detail on that jumper by Connecticut leads to a second chance opportunity, and Giffey now with 7.
Giffey on Blackshear. Blackshear goes right past him and draws the foul. He had the quick step, and now the junior from Chicago will be at the line.
It's been a long time since this has felt like a game. The Connecticut Huskies trying to be heard from. A little opportunistic offensive rebound by Daniels, but then you don't do your job defensively. Unimpeded up the floor goes Russ Smith. An easy opportunity. Shabazz backs away entirely. Cardinals in control.
Well, some finish there. Not nearly as close here with 3.5 minutes to go, though there is still time for the Huskies. It'll be Blackshear at the line for the Cardinals. Doris Burke, Dave O'Brien, Andy Katz with you. Doris, who is rooting hard for her Providence Friars to go to the NCAA tournament, as every good alum should.
You got a St. John's team waiting in the wings, who've done some good work under Steve Lavin. Can they get into the tournament?
Yeah, the committee would be wise to take a very, very serious look at that resume for Lav's St. John's team. They really played well out of conference, 10-3. They closed real strong in conference play. And they have a much better BPI than a lot of teams that are being talked about as bubble teams are already in. 3:12 left, long jumper off the back of the iron and tipped along the baseline. Nice save by Blackshear. Smith on the move, can't lay it in. You mentioned Brima. Defensively, he is every bit the terror that Harrell has been all the way around in this game, or at least on the defensive end. Man, he is going to be something as his progress continues. 68-53. Phillips 66. Big 12 Men's Basketball Championship. Title game is set. Iowa State against Baylor. Iowa State, a lot of fun to watch.
Spread the floor, shoot some threes, love it.
Saw them earlier this season at Iowa State. Got a chance to do a game inside that building. Hilton Coliseum for the first time. They faced Michigan, and they beat Michigan. In that game. It's a great basketball game, but I have not heard a louder basketball arena in my life.
Wow.
68-55, 2:51 to go, and a timeout. UConn trying to cut into that deficit. They got it down to 6 points with about 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. That's when Louisville went on that 10-2 run and would lead by 14 at halftime. And they have had an answer at every turn today whenever the Huskies have threatened to creep back into the game. And that's something that, I mean, the Cardinals have been doing, winning out of 11 of their last 12 games. They've done it against everybody, all different kinds of competition, even top 25 opponents like UConn, and they're just playing at such a high level.
You know, Reese was talking back in the studio about the ACC teams having to scuffle a little bit to advance to the championship game. I think all of these experiences help every team. I thought the way Connecticut played in the first half, trying to slow the pace, shrink the game down a little bit, that helps Louisville. They're in command here, obviously. UConn trying to make a push. But all of these experiences, these collective experiences, having to play at different pace, playing your offense through different guys depending on the matchup, all of these things help you in an NCAA tournament situation where there are such quick turnarounds just one day between games.
Yep. Well, Russ Smith, when you can rely on a player like that who can score it as he can, you're in pretty good shape.
Well, it's just dynamic. 6 feet, 180 pounds, has a handle that allows him to navigate tight spaces, drifts to the baseline on a drive from a teammate, understands how to cut, never took his eyes off the rim as he went right to the rack. Great anticipation skills, creative in the open floor to get between defenders.
2:43 to play in the American Championship. Lead at 13 for the Cardinals. Smith wants to penetrate again. Got it up there. He'll go to the line. And be shooting two. The only American Conference player in the league games anyway to rank in the top 5 in scoring, assists, steals, and three-point accuracy. 42 last night, 17 tonight. So he's going to pick up some hardware here when this one's over.
The championship trophy and the MVP.
Get that shimmy back too that you talked about the foul line last night.
It's interesting. Kevin Durant does a little something similar when he shoots his free throws. Let's see if this is a consistent thing here. Yes, indeed.
.55. Blackshear comes back on. Hancock will take a seat. As Louisville is bearing down on their 29th win.
We talked about Napier and Boatwright having to be dynamic today. 183 combined touches, just 19 points generated.
And a foul. It's really Daniels who's had the standout game, not the guards who really needed to. They'll take their points wherever they can get them, but Napier and Boatwright, one of the better backcourts in the country, and they have been not shut down completely, but they put up a disappointing game. Napier to the line. And the first one will roll in for him. Four for 4 at the line. Number 2 for the senior from Roxbury, Massachusetts. 2:19 left, and another one coming. Now this one they can make it a 12-point game. But off target. Harrell really the man everyone will be talking about when this one is over, with a double-double, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 3 block shots. Hancock bounces for the big fellow. His follow-away not there, and Daniels with a rebound. Boatwright lost the dribble. Daniels again. No. Brima out hustles everybody for the rebound. Boatwright for a 3. The three-point shooting just has not been good enough for the Huskies all day long since the opening minutes, Doris.
No doubt about it. We've talked about it over the last couple days. UConn has played all year relying on the three-point shot and their ability to get in transition with those dynamic guards. It just wasn't there for them.
4 for 16 for the Huskies beyond the line today. So the Louisville fans begin their celebration of another conference championship, and what will be their only year in the American Conference. Louisville will win it, it would appear, with a minute to play. Napier with a spin, they let him all the way through to make it 70-59. 58 seconds to play. Jones to bring it across. Kid from Memphis is going to win a championship here at the FedEx Forum in his hometown. That has to feel very sweet.
Very special. Patino said the great thing about these guys, they play every team with great respect, and that's why they haven't been upset this year.
Whistle with 33.6 seconds to go. So Louisville's second straight year winning all of their conference tournament games by double digits. Perhaps 33.6 seconds to go. College game day presented by State Farm coming up. Harrell back to the line, working on 21 and 11. And in 3 games they were never able to stop number 24 for Louisville head to head.
I'm not sure there's any individual defender in the country who can handle him, and he showed tonight an ability to also handle double teams. Sometimes powering through them with dribbles, sometimes taking an escape dribble to the free throw line.
Shabazz Napier coming out. Outstanding senior, the American Conference Player of the Year, heading to the bench. And so is Russ Smith for the Louisville Cardinals. And he has been named the most outstanding player. And it goes to Russ Smith of the Louisville Cardinals, as it should. 42 points last night and 19 points tonight. So inside the final half minute from Memphis. UConn knows their season will continue. They're going to be into the NCAA tournament.
You're right about Brima, though. 16 points on the day for him.
You could really watch his growth throughout the season and through this tournament. But the accolades go to the Louisville Cardinals. Another outstanding performance. They sweep the season series, win all 3 from the Huskies, and Louisville is the champions of the American Athletic Conference in 2014 with a 71-61 win over the Huskies.
The eye test says there's not a team in the country that wants any piece of this team right now. They trailed for a total of 27 seconds in the games they played here in Memphis.
Yeah, that's for the tournament. And the all-championship team, Isaiah Sykes of UCF, Sean Kilpatrick of Cincinnati, Shabazz Napier of UConn, Chris Jones of Louisville, and Harrell of Louisville. Let's go to Andy Katz with the victorious coach, Rick Pitino.
All right, thank you, Dave. Well, it was a year ago. I was standing on Madison Square Garden floor with you after you won the Big East tournament. Now you win this tournament 2 years in a row. What does this one mean to you?
Hey, they're all the same. We had to win with our defense tonight. We knew that. Played excellent defense. This is 3 championships in a row, 2 Final Fours. Special group of guys. We didn't have our A game tonight, but we did defensively. Last night we had our A game offensively, so it's a very versatile team.
Speaking of the versatility, Montrezl had an amazing game tonight. What has he meant to this team during this stretch?
Well, he's improved his low post game. Like Gorky, very similar paths. Gorky couldn't pass and shoot when he first came in. He ended our best 15-foot shooter, our best passer. Same thing with Montrezl now. He's becoming our best passer, and he's becoming a guy who can knock down the 16-foot shot.
I remember in the offseason you said that not having Gorky was going to be the difference with this team. How much does he make up for that absence?
Well, he does, but Van Treese has no ego, so he just sets everybody up. He doesn't care, so Van Treese is a major addition to our ball club, and he's playing great basketball.
You guys are playing like one of the best teams in the country. Tomorrow is Selection Sunday. Where should Louisville be seated?
Well, you know, I don't get into the politics. I think the committee's going to, we're probably going to be a 1 seed.
You think you'll be a 1 seed?
Well, the run we're on, I would say we certainly fit the eye test. If we don't get the 1 with the type of February we're at, we're probably going to get a 2. But look, whatever we get, we're going to play a great basketball team. So even if we don't get the 1, we get the 2, get the 3, whatever it may be. We got to play good basketball, and that's all. I've been in this game long enough to realize that if I politic, your analysts politic, those guys in the committee don't listen to any of us. So I stopped politicking a long time ago. I'll leave that to the great politicians.
Congratulations, Rick.
Thank you.
Back to you, Dave Norris.
Andy, thank you very much. Great job here in Memphis by Andy Katz. And Rick Pitino has won another tournament title. What a great time we've had right here near Beale Street. Memphis has been a wonderful host for the first American Conference Championship. 4 days, 9 games, and now 1 champion. And Rick Pitino thinks they ought to be a #1 in the NCAA tournament. I think we may agree. Join us on ESPN3 for the trophy and award ceremony. Randy Katz, my great partner Doris Burke. Special thanks to Dave Corris, did a wonderful job on stats all through the tournament. I'm Dave O'Brien. Coming up next on ESPN, it's College Game Day, presented by State Farm. Louisville is the champion in the American. We say goodnight from Memphis.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to center court, where American Athletic Conference Commissioner Mike Arasco will be making the awards presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, first, let's give a warm round of applause to the runners-up of the 2014 American Championship, the Huskies of the University of Connecticut. And now, accepting the 2014 American Men's Basketball Champion Trophy for the Cardinals of the University of Louisville are Russ Smith, Luke Hancock, and Montrezl Harrell. As I call the name of each team member, please come forward to be presented with your championship watch. Starting with Terry Rozier. Anton Gill. Russ Smith. Chris Jones. Dylan Avar. Luke Hancock. Mango Mathian. Tim Henderson. Wayne Blackshear. Akoy Agao. David Lepich. Montrezl Harrell. Steven Van Treese. Doug Davenport. Also Ray Ganama. Fred Heine. Vinny Tatum. Andre McGee. Mike Badano. White King Jones. Kevin Keats. And head coach Rick Pitino. And now the announcement of the 2014 American Men's Basketball All-Championship Team. From UCF, Isaiah Sykes. From Cincinnati, Sean Kilpatrick. From UConn, Shabazz Napier. From Louisville, Chris Jones. Also from Louisville, Montrezl Harrell. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, this year's recipient of the championship's most outstanding player from Louisville, Russ Smith. The American Athletic Conference would like to extend a special thank you to all our fans for supporting American basketball at the FedEx Forum. Once again, congratulations to the champions, the University of Louisville Cardinals.